Hello and welcome to LittleAntiqueMe. Today I am starting a sewing project and it's going to be a step-by-step. I'm going to break down some of the basics of sewing so that you can follow along if you're a new sewer, and if you're a more seasoned sewer, perhaps it'll just be fun to sew along with me. Today we're going to go over pattern and fabric choice. So the pattern I'm using today is Simplicity 8446. I got this at probably either Hobby Lobby or Joann Fabrics. If you watch, they will go on sale for $1. So this one, if you bought it full price, was $20.95. I just waited until it was $1. So when buying a pattern, you're going to look for your size. So up at the top, it'll say size 6 to 14. I'd like to make a note that a size 6 to 14 is not what you would go to the store and buy. So for example, if you are a size 2, you're not going to look at this and go, oh, it doesn't have my size. You're going to have to look at your measurements. And same with a 14. 14 in a pattern size might not actually be what a store-bought garment will be. So what you need to do is you need to take some measurements. And so I'm going to show you now where you will need your measurements and how to measure yourself. To take your measurements, we're going to measure our bust, our natural waist, and our hips. So our bust, if you are a lady, you could actually go off of your bra strap size if you are measured properly. Otherwise, you can measure right around the biggest part of your bust. For your natural waist, you're going to find that by gently leaning to the side. Wherever you find a fold, that's where your natural waist is. Not down where your hips are, where some pants tend to put them, but up higher above your belly button. For your hips, you're going to measure around your widest part on your bum, and that is your hip measurement. Once you have taken your measurements, you're going to want to look on the back of your pattern. You're going to see that there is a section here that says body measurements. Now, just understand that each body is unique and different. Everybody is shaped differently. So like myself, my waist to my hip ratio is a little bit different than any pattern you could possibly get, so I have to alter for that. Let's say you're a 34-inch bust, a 26.5-inch waist, and a 36-inch hip. You're going to go down from the numbers and see that you are on a pattern size, a size 12. And so then you will know which size pattern to buy and which size pattern to cut out when we get to that part. The other thing you need to look at on your pattern is fabric. Up at the top, it'll always have a fabric recommendation. So the next thing you're going to do is going to pick which style you're going to do. So for example, this pattern has 2 different styles, but they can be changed as you go. For example, this is pattern A or style A, and this is pattern or style B and C. We're going to do style A because we're going to actually alter the top to make it a very basic waist. So what you're going to do then, after we have decided that this is the one we're going to do, minus the decorations, I'm going to keep it simple, we're going to look on the back and see that for fabric, or for style A, they recommend a cotton type, a crepe, gabardine, linen, pique, I think, taffeta, wool, and etc. So that gives you actually quite a variety of fabrics to choose from when you're going to choose material. Typically, I've made these in cotton because they're very simple to wash and very simple to wear. But let's talk about fabric. So some of our fabric choices are something like this. This is a wool material. It would work great for a heavier skirt. It's going to give you more warmth. It's also going to be a more weighted skirt. Great for winter and fall. There is what they call a crepe back satin. So it's this shinier material, has a more plain back. This is a very slick material. If it's your first time sewing, I wouldn't recommend working with something like this, or even on to the silks, because they do like to slide and can be very frustrating. Next is the material we're actually going to use in this video to create the skirt, or this video series to create the skirt. This is a cotton material. It's very, very basic, and it's just got a nice pattern to it, so we're not having to match stripes. We're not having to match polka dots. It's a very just small floral pattern. And so we're not having to think about all those things, because on the back it'll tell you if you're using a stripe or a polka dot or a plaid pattern, much like this one, you're going to need more fabric because you're going to want to match up those plaids. Unlike a solid or a floral, which you don't need to match up the patterns. We'll go to that more later. So once you've decided that you have your fabric, you've decided that this is the fabric you wanted to use, you need to figure out if you have enough or if you need to buy more, or if you need to buy enough. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna go back to your pattern, and down below your size 12, you're gonna see that a 45-inch bolt of fabric, you're gonna need 2 1/4 yards. Now a 45-inch bolt fabric, it'll say on the top of the bolt how wide your fabric is. There's a 45, a 60, and a 72. And if you can't find that number, ask the person in the department, they will help you. Once you determine what size bolt you have, you're going to look and see how much fabric you need. So this came off of a 42-inch bolt and so I needed 2 yards and 1/4 for my pattern if I was a size 12. You will need to adjust for yourself. The nice thing about this pattern is you really just need to focus on your waist measurement. So if you are, let's say you are a 28-inch waist, but you have a 40 hip, that's 2 different pattern sizes, but it's gonna be okay because this skirt is what's called a free hip. It's a little more full at the hips and you won't have to worry about that so much. And so once you've got your fabric, once you have your pattern, you need to look and decide what notions you may need. You're gonna need thread, you're going to need a 7-inch zipper, you're going to need 1 hook closure and 1 package of bias tape, which that's kind of optional. That's for hemming this skirt. I choose not to do that. I choose to just hand hem my skirt, which we will get to that later. I will show you. So yeah, once you've got your fabric and all of your notions, which is the things that you're gonna need to help sew your project, we are going to be able to move on and go ahead and actually sew our skirt. So if you stay tuned, my next video will be all about cutting out the fabric and learning how to read the pattern. So I hope this is helpful, and I hope you enjoy the series and get to tune in with me on it. And let's go make a skirt. See you next time.